When you like that photo or link on Facebook, do you ever think about what you're really telling the internet about yourself? In today's society, social media platforms are common amongst people of all ages, but we can see that the vast majority of users are between 18 and 25. We put our information up on sites like Facebook with blind trust that will only land in the hands of the people we intend it for. What we don't think about, however, is that once we put something on the internet, we have lost control over it and we will never know who actually gets access to it or what else they gain access to. When we are on the internet, we are being monitored by various algorithms that use our internet activity to learn about and target us effectively. I want you to take a look at my Facebook profile. As you can see, I like to shop online. Facebook knows that I like to shop online based on my other internet activity and likes on Facebook. The sidebar of my homepage is showing different advertisements for retail sites and credit card companies, such as Levi's and Discover. Facebook is also advertising to me by suggesting pages I like, such as Twice and 1015store.com. These suggestions may seem innocent, and in this case they are, but when did these types of targeted ads begin to cross the line? Eric Goldman, an associate professor at the Santa Clara University School of Law, took aim at Facebook for putting words in its users' mouths. Facebook, he wrote, interprets a like as a statement of a user's attitude and a green light to create an ad. As reported by the Wall Street Journal, Facebook is currently facing charges from the government claiming that it misled users about its use of their personal information. The social network, with 800 million worldwide users, has faced repeated complaints from users that it changed policies to disclose more of their personal information without adequate notice from the company. The Facebook settlement is part of a broader government push to hold companies more accountable for the personal data they collect, store, and trade. These types of privacy breaches are not only being observed in Facebook. Let's look at how Google is also monitoring us and customizing searches based on various data.
So Facebook isn't the only place that's doing this kind of invisible algorithmic editing of the web. Google's doing it too. If I search for something and you search for something, even right now at the very same time, we may get very different search results. Even if you're logged out, one engineer told me, there are 57 signals that Google looks at. Everything from what kind of computer you're on, to what kind of browser you're using, to where you're located, that it uses to personally tailor your query results. Think about it for a second. There is no standard Google anymore. And you know, the funny thing about this is that it's hard to see. You can't see how different your search results are from anyone else's. But a couple of weeks ago, I asked a bunch of friends to Google Egypt and to send me screenshots of what they got. So here's my friend Scott's screenshot, and here's my friend Daniel's screenshot. When you put them side by side, you don't even have to read the links to see how different these two pages are. But when you do read the links, it's really quite remarkable. Daniel didn't get anything about the protests in Egypt at all in his first page of Google results. Scott's results were full of them. And this was the big story of the day at that time. That's how different these results are becoming.
Steve Henn, in an All Things Considered podcast on NPR, discussed how these large corporations are collecting huge amounts of information about all of us and then using supercomputers to sift through, analyze, and study it. This is the reality of modern life, and it can be a tremendously powerful thing. He goes on to say that the collection of personal information has become so ubiquitous that even staunch privacy advocates now say it's impossible to build a protective wall around all your personal data. Rather, they say expectations for privacy have to be redefined. There is a tendency to think that privacy is synonymous with secrecy, that if you can keep your personal information secret, then you have privacy. But if you don't, if it's not secret anymore, if third parties hold your personal information, then somehow you have lost all of your privacy. In this TED Talk with Alessandro Acquisti, we observe a study in which very personal information, such as social security numbers, is uncovered from public information. This is the ultimate display of how having personal information on the internet is never completely private or trustworthy.
We did an experiment on Carnegie Mellon University campus. We asked students who were walking by to participate in a study. And we took a shot with a webcam, and we asked them to fill out a survey on a laptop. While they were filling out the survey, we uploaded their shot to a cloud computing cluster. And we started using a facial recognizer to match that shot to a database of some hundreds of thousands of images which we had downloaded from Facebook profiles. By the time the subject reached the last page on the survey, the page had been dynamically updated with the 10 best matching photos which the recognizer had found. And we asked the subjects to indicate whether he or she found themselves in the photo. Do you see the subject? Well, the computer did, and in fact did so for 1 out of 3 subjects. So essentially, we can start from an anonymous phase, offline or online, and we can use facial recognition to give a name to that anonymous phase, thanks to social media data. But a few years back, we did something else. We started from social media data. We combined it statistically with data from US government social security, and we ended up predicting social security numbers, which in the United States are extremely sensitive information.
So we leave you with this. Think about what information you put on the internet, because in today's society, privacy has become redefined and you never know who has access to your information and what they can really see about you.